fight about this thing and get down to the nitty gritty to get this thing out completely, you bet not be out there calling out devils. That's just the thing. When you're calling out devils, right, you better be ready for it, because that devil's not going to go easy. He does not want to go from this situation. So when you're calling out the devil, you better be ready to hit, because this thing is not going to just say, okay, I'm going to just go and leave. There's going to be fighting and different things, and it's going to not want to. It's not going to want to go, and when you're calling devils out, you're gonna have to be ready for a fight. And I ain't know, and sometimes it's like not just saying that I want this thing to stay here, because I'm on a daily basis. I'm trying to live to let this thing go, but it seems to stay around. Do I want it to? No. I want everybody involved to be happy. I want everybody involved to appreciate the situation, to enjoy the situation. So I just need to say that when you're calling out devils, you better be ready for a fight.
So are you asking me, am I ready for a fight? First of all, let me clarify this again. Like I said, no one's out here purposely trying to fight. I'm telling what I've been through. And I don't have to hide for you or for anyone else what I've been through, what someone has put me through. Like I said, it's not even you missing the whole point. What I'm saying is we're here to let someone know that, yeah, you may be going through that, but you can get through it. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah. People.
Okay, and I'm understanding. I understand what you're saying. Your somebody may be going through what you're going through. So
or what I went through.
So continue.
Yeah, I'm being honest. I don't believe he want to talk about it.
I mean, talk about it. Talk about it. I mean, you know what? Right now, let's go ahead and clear this air right now, right here. If whatever you want to say it. Whatever you feel to say about this situation, say it. Have at it.
Y'all listen, when he say have at it, that means he ain't completely happy with the way. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. I mean, he's not happy.
No. Okay, don't get me wrong. I'm not. I don't. I would rather not go into this thing. But if this is going to get people free, so be it.
Okay, let's say I'm asking from not co-host to co-host, but from wife to husband. Why don't you feel you want to go into it? And I said to you, I said, Dennis, I said instead of going into specifics, let's keep it generalized. And with the generalization, you don't have to divulge everything that a person been through. Okay, so I'm asking because
I'm going to tell you. When you started speaking, right? Mm-hmm. You asked me, can I divulge information of something that happened exactly? Out of everybody's situation in this world, I don't know how many people this happened to, but this situation that you asked me, can I divulge information? It was both parties know what happened. It's exact. It's to the point. It's our situation. So when you're talking about something that happened to you, you're not being general no more.
That's why I stopped and I said to you, I said, Dennis, before we proceed, do you want to keep this thing generalized or do you want to go into details? That's what I asked you. Because if you want to keep it generalized, we can keep it generalized. Can I get your attention, please?
I'm listening.
I want you to look at me while I'm talking to you. Y'all can't see him, but he playing football on his phone.
This conversation is conversation has more to do with just in-laws. It has to do with
people,
me and your relationship.
What you think I'm trying to? What you think I'm trying to do?
Yeah. Can you continue talking about?
No, tell me now, because I feel you accuse me of doing something, but don't throw no rocks down behind your hand, because we all living in glass houses. Come on, come with it, Ron.
I'm going to let Yvette take this where she want to take it. Go ahead.
Yeah, like I said, because we're at an impasse here, what we have to do is we're going to pray on it. And we're going to keep it generalized for now until God changes one of our hearts to say, no, go with what your wife is saying, or no, go with what your husband is saying. And so that's the one thing about marriage. You have to also recognize when the devil is trying to come in. And he's trying to come in on this topic. But we're not going to get off marriage. We're not going to get off marriages because the devil is trying to kill marriages. The way that God said marriage is supposed to be between a man and a woman. Yes, it may sound old school, but that's my beliefs. You know, people believe what they want to believe, but I'm going to stand on every word that proceeds out of the mouth of the Lord. Y'all, here you go.
Now, you have never answered my question.
What is your question?
The question is, okay, once you get all this, once we have...
Am I ready to fight?
No. Hold up. The question is this. When you get to the point you got all these stresses and pains of outside factors in a marriage, inside factors of a marriage, what do you do with that? What do you do with these stresses? Because it's like everybody got problems.
Yes, they do. Okay, now I think I can say this. All right, when me and Dennis first got together and stuff like that, and things started happening, people started doing stuff, and people started saying stuff, I was real upset with Dennis because as a man, I felt he did not stand up for our relationship. I felt that he allowed people to just put their mouth in our relationship and do things and, you know, treat me any kind of way. And so, you know, for a long time I was mad at him, and I was like, man, God, you showed us the man for me, because he ain't doing the serve and protect thing. You know what I'm saying? It's like he just allowing this thing to go and be however and do whatever. And see, you know, Dennis, let me explain to you Dennis. Dennis is a more laid back person. You know, he's docile. He's not like a natural born fighter. He doesn't fight unless he's pushed into the corner. And me, on the other hand, I grew up fighting with brothers like mine, Lucius Delane and Brian Williams, where people throwing rocks, chipping your teeth, and, you know, stuff like that, pushing you off stuff, and, you know, just doing stuff to you. You always had, you know, you and a cousin like Corey Jeffrey, you always had to fight. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, no, I ain't trying to hit this. I'm not trying to hit this. And so, in the beginning, you know, somebody will say something, or they'll say something to Dennis, and I'll be like, well, tell them I said this. You know what I'm saying? Because, and I fought. That's the thing. And see, we was not saved then. We knew of God because he came from a family that was, you know, raised in the church, and so did I. But I wasn't trying to hear nothing. I wasn't trying to hear, I don't care. Y'all don't know me. Y'all don't know nothing about me, but y'all got y'all mouth on me, and anything y'all say, I got something to say back to y'all. And so I was mad at him because I felt like, you know, it's like, tell these people to shut up and mind their business. Because, you know, that's what I had to tell my family eventually as we was moving along in this marriage. Y'all need to shut up and mind y'all business. What going on between Dennis and Yvette is between Dennis and Yvette. And so, instead of saying, okay, God, I'll let you work this thing out, I fought. And I pushed him to fight too. Even though it was not of his character. You know what I'm saying? I wanted him to fight on my behalf. And see, that's where we go wrong, right? When you're dealing with this stuff like this, what you have to do, you have to allow God to be God. And you have to allow God, because if he allows a child to come up in your courtship, right? In your engagement period and in your marriages, because he knew that you could withstand it. And it was like, y'all, like I said, I would fight with him. I would fight with him because I felt like he wasn't fighting with me, you know, against anybody that came against our relationship. If you wasn't fighting with me, you know what I'm saying, for us, then I felt you was fighting with them. And so I was mad at him, you know. And it was like, y'all, it was like he was being pulled on both sides. You know, I'm pulling one way, other people pull another way. You know, and it was like, the moment I said to God, I said, you know what, God, I can't do this no more. Because, you know what, he can't control people. I can't control the people in my family. He can't control the people in his family. So what we got to do with this thing is, I'm going to give this thing to you. And it was like the moment that I gave it to God was the moment that it changed. Did that answer your question?
Yeah. And that's one thing that's very important in relationship. When you decide to be with somebody, right? And it's nobody else in that relationship but you and that person. And so where the problems come in is that we take on the problems of other people or let people dictate to us how our relationship should be or going to go or what we should be doing and different things of that nature. And it's like, yes, and I know people are important to, each person, like family members and different things of that nature. But at the end of the day, what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to say, okay, what, and I'm not trying to say, speak less of anybody, what they have going on or whatever like that with family members and stuff. But what we have to do is at the end of the day, we have to say, okay, this is my relationship, is truly what I want. You know what I'm saying? And just because my family members want it, does that dictate what goes on in my relationship? Does that make me happy because my family wants something? Or can we sit down and truly talk about what we need together as people, as far as a relationship? What do we need? What do we need? Not what somebody else wants, so they feel how things should go or whatever like that. Because it's like, how are you gonna put what somebody else want on your relationship?
Yeah, and that's what we do. We have a tendency to allow outside influences to interject what they think should and shouldn't be, when what two people need to do, first of all, you need to have your relationship built on the principles of God, on the laws and the commandments of God, and you need to develop a prayer life. You know what I'm saying? Some people just dating to be dating and have casual sexual friends just to have a freak of the week. You know what I'm saying? And it's
go ahead, continue.
And it should be more than that. You should be out here looking for whom God has for you. Not, you ain't even got to look, because God will bring them to you. And that was our case, because God brought Dennis to that gas station that day I met him. And so what you have to do is you have to allow God to direct this thing, because there's going to be ups and downs. First of all, you have to understand that the devil is working towards a marriage, you know what I'm saying, the way God said it's supposed to be, hard anyway. You know what I'm saying? So that in itself, in a nutshell, is a process. You have to learn to fight through these things. But then when you have like environmental influences, familiar influences, you know what I'm saying? Because families, they play a big part in, you know what I'm saying, how a relationship, whether it grows or it dies. But see, you can't give them that power. You cannot give your family that type of power in your relationship, because it's dangerous. The only one you should give that type of power to is God.
Now she said, Yvette said power to God. Okay, all right. Now, okay, you got two things we're looking at. Now, this is what I'm hearing. Now, we can talk a little bit. We can go back before we were married, right? And say, okay, how things are supposed to be before you get married. Then you got this instance right here. We're married now, all right? It's like we have these problems. We have these things going on, and it's like, what do you do now that I think you maybe already answered that, and when you said that we got to give things to God, okay, and then now I think we need to let's talk to the single people here, because it's like, okay, we've been to the mountaintop as far as the in-laws and all this other stuff, right? And we kind of I think we got past that. It's like God again. the